Israeli bonds at 4%. Interesting, huh? I had never came across the opportunity to invest in Israel and Israeli bonds, but this came across one of my feeds as an advertisement. They know who they're they know how to advertise to the right audience, that's for sure. So I figured I'd give it a look and look at it for sure. Now, I guess some of you all be offended because BDS, boycott, divest, and I forgot the other thing is. Frankly, don't care. I like Israel. That's all there is to it. I'm a fan of Israel. And given that my boss is the son of a Jewish carpenter, and given that Paul, before otherwise known as Saul, plays such a fundamental role in my faith, all Jewish, I'm a fan of the Jewish people. I'm a fan of the Israeli people. And we've learned a lot from folks from Israel. And I find it absolutely I find it utmost offensive that schools today are trying to boycott academics from Israel coming here and learning to trade cultures, trying to boycott other students who want to engage in internships in Israel from going there as well. And these are professors who say we need to be multicultural and intolerant. And I find it to be incredibly offensive, and it shouldn't be tolerated. No other way around that. All right. So I want to be very clear. I have no idea the credit rating, how this works, none whatsoever. Now they do cite. Let's go to the let's go to the homepage here. There we go. They do cite Fitch's, and I told you before, I'm not the biggest fan of Fitch's from underwriting. It's been a long time since I've been in the bond market at all, so I don't pay much mind to it. But they do cite Fitch's that gets an A+ rated according to Fitch. And I don't know what Moody's does. I don't know what Standards & Poor does. In fact, I imagine Moody's and Standards & Poor probably are being inundated with the elite here in the United States to not under or rate the Israeli underwritten bonds. I can only imagine that. And so I hope that Moody's and Standards & Poor's don't follow that, but you never know. I mean, the pressure from the media elite and the pressure from our upper elite in the United States, academic and particularly, and now starting to be political, can be overwhelming. But anyway, so let's dive into this because I actually find it interesting. And again, going back, I don't know anything how this works, none whatsoever. I don't know if these are government obligated from the Israeli government. I don't know. Netanyahu, if he stays in office, I don't know if his group of I literally no idea. So and then if the Labor Party was it the Likud is Netanyahu, and then I think the Labor Party in Israel is the left wing. I frankly have no idea, but that's for you to determine for sure. So let's just read about Israel bonds here. Read the Israel bonds mission statement. Get answers to questions about Development Corporation for Israel bonds. If I may, while Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East for sure, it's not as if Israel is a capitalistic mecca. That's for sure. I mean, Israel is hard to imagine more of a mercantilist, quasi-corporatist, if you will, government, simply because the free markets are certainly not there. I mean, it's just all there is to it. And this is the problem that we have from Europe all the way over the rest of the world, other than the United States, and even here it's become less so for sure. But it's the best we got. It's kind of like democracy. It's a horrible method of electing your reps, but as everything else is even worse. This is the best we got, which is kind of sad. But so be it as it may, you're not investing in like this capitalistic Ayn Rand utopian. It's just not happening like that. But at the end of the day, can you get 4% on a 15-year Israel bond? It looks like you can. So let's talk about it. So read the bond's mission statement, get answers to your questions about these bonds. So let's read the bond's mission statement here. Development Corporation for Israel bonds, a FINRA member broker-dealer that underwrites securities issued by the state of Israel in the U.S., ranks among Israel's most valued economic and strategic resources. With a record of proven success spanning nearly 7 decades, praised for its dependability, the bonds organization has helped build every sector of Israel's economy. My inclination is that you're actually getting the money back that you've already lent them through the American taxpayer, that's for sure. Because is Israel our number one source of aid that we give to? I think it might be. So basically, we're loaning Israel the money, and you're gonna lend it back to them. twice. Advocating investment and pride in Israel through the sale of Israel bonds is global in scope. Worldwide sales surpassed 42 billion since 1951. In 2018, the annual sales of Israel bonds in the U.S. exceeded $1 billion. That's not that much, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a lot, don't get me wrong, but I'm surprised it's not that much. Sorry, let's keep going. You can read all this stuff for yourself. There you go, Fitch. In a statement issued April 2018, Fitch affirmed Israel's rating at A+ with an outlook of stable, noting Israel benefits from high financing flexibility, has deep and liquid local markets, good access to capital markets, and an active diaspora bond program. I'm not sure they're. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. And similarly, 2018, Standard & Poor's gave Israel its highest ever rating. The rating agency cited steady growth and improved fiscal outlook and its decision to upgrade the Jewish state to AA- according to the Times of Israel. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, so I didn't realize that. I'm glad to see Standard & Poor's in there too. Good. I like it. Let's see. Let's keep going about. So what else we got? Let's go back to home, and you can see all kinds of investing. Let's see about investing options. It can be used for financial portfolios, help diversify and preserve capital. Financing program provides significant funding for Israel, relatively low-cost investor. Retirement plans can be utilized for retirement plans. Note that investments for IRAs or pension funds must be facilitated through a custodian or administrator and cannot be made via these guys right here. So I'm not sure how you do that, but it sounds like you can actually buy the bond outright, almost like a treasury bond, if you will, or a savings bond in the United States. It sounds like similar to that. Mazel Tov bonds can be purchased for a minimum of $100 investment with available $10 increments. There's nothing wrong with that. Mazel Tov. I had a good Jewish friend of mine who used to gefilte fish and mazel tovs. I had no idea what either of those were, but this is growing up in high school. He used to always share that with us. That was it was kind of like a standing joke, like gefilte fish, yum. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what it is, but he used to always talk about it. It's kind of funny. Gifts you can give bonds, donate in Israel bonds for philanthropic purposes to support Israel important costs. All right, good stuff. So let's just go back to the beat on this bond and rates. So let's see what we got here. All right, Jubilee issue bonds, minimum subscription 25,000, increments of 5,000, issued on the 1st and 15th of each month. Interest paid May 1st and November 1st. They're paying twice a year. 1-year Jubilee bonds are not offered in the sales period. So they got the 11th series and they got a 15-year at 4%. No idea if that's good. I mean, 4% seems good relative to the U.S. bonds, which are paying about 2 3/4. But look, I don't know how it works. So you'd have to do your own research. Maccabee bonds, Sabra bonds. Let's see. What is this, a zero coupon? Yeah, here we go. So zero coupon. So you buy it at 5,000 and matures a year from now at 51.63, at 51.36. So you can easily see what your rate of return would be there. 2.72. A zero coupon. I'm a fan of zero coupon bonds. I've always been a fan of zero coupons. The simplicity is great. You buy for 65,000, you wait 20 years and matures at 100. I've always been interested in zero coupon bonds for sure. And same thing. Here you got you put 1,000 in, you wait 3 years, and you get 1,091 in 3 years. That's 2.97. That's not bad, man, for a 3-year. I like it. Mazel Tov bonds paying 3.86 for a 5-year rate. Okay, you buy 100 and matures at 120. I'm a fan of that stuff, man. Now, am I a fan of this? I don't know. You'd have to figure it out. Client support, bonds and rates. We talked about that. Floating rate LIBOR funds. Okay. All right, so that's pretty cool. News from the president events calendar. Let's take a look at events calendar. What they got going on here. The National Prime. Okay, so yeah, a lot going on here. All right, so medical delegation, Atlanta Community Gala. All right, cool. There you go. So in March, I guess we missed that one. March 13th, Atlanta Community Gala. Health professionals in Short Hills. That's in New Jersey. Short Hills, is that New Jersey? Yeah, right. Short Hills, New Jersey. Bergen, that's New Jersey. New York medical event. Israel bonds, new leadership. APAC kickoff event. They just had APAC the other day, as a matter of fact. And Steny Hoyer, I think he's the second in command behind Pelosi, stood up for APAC, I thought it was kind of funny. It's just kind of interesting to the huge applause of the crowd because APAC does not want to seem like a Republican subsidy. It's just sad, actually, what's happening here. But it was good to see Steny Hoyer at least stand for APAC and say things that was resounding without question. It's sad to see that when it came time, he neglected to do that when it came time to condemn anti-Semitism in all its evilness. He didn't neglected to do that. But hey, I don't want to take. I don't want to say I'll take yes for an answer. It's okay. Let's put it that way. And so that's good. So the APAC. There you go. I'm seeing if there's anything else here in Atlanta, Los Angeles, Short Hills, Baltimore, Brookline, North. Okay, so good stuff there, man. Again, I have no idea if this is the way to go. I'm just sharing it. Came across as interesting to me as a supporter of Israel, as a supporter of helping people advance their financial prowess with better alternatives than might be seen out there. This might be something to look at, and I encourage you to do so. I don't encourage you to invest it. I have no clue. You are on your own, my friends. You are on your own, and I don't know how you buy an IRA if there's no ticker or something. I don't know how that works, so you'd have to find out. But something to think about. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks now.